Pac-10 Sports Talk. We got a lot of bowl games to talk about. A lot of bowl games. And the first one I want to talk about is the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Florida State versus South Carolina. And Joel's going to talk a little bit about this game, aren't you, Joel?
Heck yeah, I am. Yeah, good matchup. You have two teams that finished runner-up in their respective conference. You had Florida State, who lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC Championship, as well as South Carolina, who lost to Auburn pretty badly in the SEC Championship. But in this game, if you like defense, you're going to like this game a lot. You got two of the best rushing defense in the nation. You've got a South Carolina team, which is 9th in rushing defense, as well as 10th in sacks. You're going to go against a Florida State's defense, who is 25th in rushing defense and 2nd in sacks. So both teams will definitely anchor down on the defensive side. So for me, it comes down to who's got the better offense on this. You got Florida State with Christian Ponder, who had elbow surgery and is probable for this game. So even if he does play, I don't think he's going to be full force. And I don't think Florida State has that many weapons on the offensive side. I mean, just ask yourself, name me, besides Christian Ponder, name me another offensive weapon that they have. It's one of the first time in a long time that a team like Florida State doesn't have that go-to guy. But at least you can say for South Carolina, they at least have Marcus Latimer, which I think they're going to give Florida State a heavy dose. I think Florida State will contain him, but I think it will be enough to open up some passing lanes for Garcia, who can be sporadic in big-time games, but I think he'll find some opening holes, especially to Alshon Jeffries, who has over 1,400 yards receiving this year. So I think they'll have enough in the passing unit to win this game. I see Florida State not winning this one, so I should say South Carolina will win this 31-20.
Okay, Jack.
Well, I agree. I think South Carolina's going to win this game. I think they have something to prove after getting annihilated in the SEC championship game by Auburn. I think they have an agenda here.
Definitely. I see South Carolina winning this game. You got a score in this game, Jack? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be tight. 30-27. I'm going to go with
27. Mm-hmm. I think 30-24 is a good score to go with. Okay, let's talk about the Gator Bowl. Mississippi State versus Michigan. Jack, where'd you go on this game?
Well, you know, this is a battle of an offensive team, Michigan, versus a defensive team in Mississippi State. Neither team really plays the other side of the ball that well, although there's one caveat. Mississippi State does actually run the ball pretty well, though they seldom get into the end zone.
Michigan, is that a problem?
It can be a problem. Michigan, you know, if you watch Michigan play, you know they're pretty at the top of their conference in most offensive categories: rushing, passing, and a lot of that's due to one Denard Robinson, who early on was a top leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy. You know, and as good as Cam Newton is at Auburn, as good as he runs the ball, Denard Robinson has outrushed him by 234 yards this year. And boy, I tell you what, that's impressive when you outrush Cam Newton. The other side of the coin is, on the defensive side for Michigan, they rank last in almost every category. They don't stop the run, they can't stop the pass, they can't stop people from scoring. In fact, they make bad offensive teams look really good, and there's hope for Mississippi State right there. For Mississippi State, their quarterback, you know, normally when a quarterback is a dynamic runner, they call him a dual threat. However, in the case of Chris Ralph, the quarterback of Mississippi State, you know, he's passed for 1,495 yards and 9 touchdowns. That really, I'm not sure that qualifies as a dual threat. You know, in fact, Boise State has trick plays where they lateral to the halfback deep passes he's passed for more yards than he's passed for. So, but the other thing is Ralph isn't facing an LSU style pass defense or an Alabama style pass defense. He's facing the worst pass defense in the Big Ten. So if Mississippi State can get their number 2 ranked rushing offense in the SEC, second only to Auburn, going, and not only move the ball up and down the field, but actually get into the end zone from time to time, I think it could be a long day for Michigan. I'm going to go with Mississippi State 31-24.
That was pretty close to what I would go with. I think Mississippi State's just going to be able to rush the ball. They can't pass very effectively, but they'll be able to rush the ball on that porous defense. And then as far as, I think this is probably going to be one of the best defenses that Michigan's offenses face. So I think they will contain Michigan. I see a little bit lower scoring game. I'm going to go 27-20.
27-20. I picked Mississippi State, and I think the score is going to be 28-24. A little bit closer than you guys.
Consensus going?
Yeah, we're all kind of right there in the pocket. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move on to the Capital One Bowl. Alabama playing Michigan State. Joel, how's this going to get?
We got two teams that, you know, it depends on how pumped up they're going to be about this game. You have Michigan State, who, they actually beat Wisconsin this year. They were tied for the conference championship. They were both 11-1, but of course, with the BCS rankings, Wisconsin went instead of Michigan State. So I think they've got maybe a little chip on their shoulder, but they may not be pumped up to be here. They may think, man, we should have been in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And then you've got Alabama, who, going into the game, about 4 or 5 weeks ago against Auburn, they were still playing for a national championship. Mm-hmm. And so, it depends. It'll be interesting to see the mindset of both teams going into that. But that said, it's also pride for the conferences. You have two conferences that feel like they're the best conferences out there. So you have a little Big Ten SEC showdown. But with this, to me, I think both teams are very similar. They offensively, that is, they have decent quarterbacks, not great quarterbacks in McElroy and Cousins, and they've got good running backs. But to me, I think that Alabama's defense is going to be the difference here. Their defense ranks 4th nationally. And I think it's going to be by far the best defense that Kirk Cousins in that offense has seen. I think it'll be too much for them. And although I think Michigan State will be able to move the ball somewhat, I don't think they're going to be able to score that much. And I still think there's too many offensive weapons for Alabama on a Michigan State defense that is somewhat poor. It's not a great defense. I'm going to go Alabama in this one, 34-24.
That's pretty similar to what I was going to say. I think Alabama wins this game. I think they have something to prove. I think, like Joel said, they're disappointed they didn't play for the national title. Things will went a little bit south this year, but I think they want to come back and prove to the nation they're a pretty good team. I'm going with Alabama 31-24.
Okay, so again, I agree with Alabama. I think the score's going to be 28-21 in Alabama's favor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to the Cotton Bowl. Texas A&M versus LSU. Jack, your thoughts?
Well, gosh, this is really a tough game to pick.
Then don't pick it, Jack.
Right,
Just give up.
These two teams have had a rivalry for going way back. But Texas A&M's got the better of that rivalry they won the last 5 games. However, LSU holds the series edge. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, and I think where one mistake wins or loses the game by somebody. And if you're talking about really down-to-the-wire games, then who better in the nation to win one of those than LSU? Yeah. They've had their share of good luck this year. Just ask Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Ole Miss. These are all victims of the late surge in the last minute or two that won those games. On the other hand, you got Ryan Tannehill from Texas A&M. Ever since he became a starter 5 games ago, Texas A&M has breezed to 5 straight victories, and they've looked good doing it. They beat Oklahoma, 11-2 Oklahoma team. They beat a very good Nebraska team, 10-3 team. And as I said, this game could come down just to little things. I don't think there's going to be a lot of offense in this game. So little things like A&M losing field position on a punt exchange, for example, could be a crucial thing here, or getting an additional turnover because A&M has, on the season, on their turnover margin, they're a -2. So it could be an advantage there. For Tannehill, the quarterback, the Tiger defense could be a repeat of the kind of pass defense he saw against Nebraska, another very good pass defense. In that game, Tannehill was limited to like 172 yards, and of course they only scored 9 points. In LSU, it was a very good pass defense. I don't think LSU is going to score a lot of points in this game, but I don't think they're going to need to. I see LSU winning this one by the slimmest of margins. I'm going to go with LSU 24, Texas A&M 23.
I also see a close game. However, I see it the reverse. I actually see Texas A&M winning this. All the talks about LSU and their stout defense, which they do, but Texas A&M has a very good defense as well, and I think they have a much better offense. LSU struggles moving the ball, and so I think it's the offense. It's an extra pass here. It's a field goal here. I think it's the offense that wins the game for Texas A&M. I'm going to go in a close one. I'm going to go 24-17 though.
Okay, you're an outlier because I picked LSU. I think another close game, not as high as you guys, 17-14.
Close.
Okay, so that is it. That wraps up this segment of the Bowl. Next segment, we're going to just talk specific BCS Bowl games. Thanks for checking out this video. Leave your comments, even if you're a hater. Thanks for checking out Pac-10 Sports Talk. I'm Donovan. You're Joel.
And I'm Jack.
And Jack's on the end.
That's right!